guys, it's Tim, and this is Wrestling Unlimited, as it's a Monday, and that means tonight was a Monday Night Raw. I thought it was a good episode of Monday Night Raw. I wouldn't say it was like a great follow-up from Elimination Chamber, but it was a good Raw to set up a couple of things. We didn't really set up much towards a Mania, but then at the same time, I think we did set up one new thing for Mania, maybe two, depending on, Luke, tell me if I heard this right. They announced that number one contenders match for AJ Lee in the Intercontinental Championship, but didn't state when the winner of that would get their title shot, right? I didn't hear that.
I did not hear that part.
Okay, so we don't know if that's going to be a Raw or if the winner of that gets the shot at Mania, because the rumor's still Becky if nothing changed. So, I don't know. We'll see how that all does go, but as far as everything going on here, Luke, what's new with you?
Honestly, nothing a whole lot, really. Just same old, same old. We're here to talk about Raw. I thought Raw was okay. I wouldn't say it was a great show, but I would say it was decent. I feel like they could have done more for like building up Mania, especially since it's the Raw after a Chamber.
True, but remember, they got to stretch this stuff out for 6 weeks.
Right, but at least they could have like announced like some stuff, maybe to hype things up going into Mania.
I get what you're saying, and maybe not announce anything, but actually tease something bigger that we can see where it's going for Mania. Like, I think we're getting Dom and Finn. Like, now it's not going to be for the Intercontinental Championship, but I think that was teased.
I think it's gonna be Demon Finn Balor versus Dominic.
There's a good chance of that. Yeah, I thought that would have ended up for the Intercontinental title, but it's obviously not now. But
which I'm actually glad about.
Why?
Because here's why. Because I feel like for that kind of match, it's better if it's just like a regular rivalry match, not just them like fighting for something.
True.
So I do like the idea of like them just having it as like a regular like one-on-one match, or maybe they add a stipulation to it. Maybe it's like a Hell in a Cell or like a no holds bar match.
Now, we can't talk about tonight's Raw until I ask you the question. What did you think of Danhausen's debut at the Elimination Chamber?
I know a lot of people are pissed. I saw people on Twitter pissed about it because here's my thing with the whole like mystery crate or whatever they called it, which I have seen a lot of memes on TikTok. I don't know if you saw those like AI videos I've been sending you of people making those like what's in the crate, or like some were funny, some were like just stupid. Yeah. God, those things are hilarious. But anyway, they were hyping this up to be like something like really like big. And that's why they were like saving it for the Chamber. Some people thought like, well, if it was like Chris Jericho's debut, which obviously didn't happen because Jericho's contract is frozen by AEW. Some people thought it was going to be like some big announcement or like a really big debut. And once a lot of people thought it was Danhausen, which this is nothing against Danhausen whatsoever. I mean, I like the character of Danhausen, but man, a lot of people were pissed. I remember I seen videos of people like booing him after like they did his like debut. Like they were just booing him out of the stadium. I was like, geez.
Oh yeah, no. Like he showed up, comes out of the box, and then so they open the box. Then there's a goddamn what's it called, a coffin, and then he comes out the coffin, and everyone's just like, oh, you hear the crowd go, oh. And then he gets in the ring, does this thing when the lights go out and they start booing. I'm like, oh yeah, this didn't go well. And according to Dave Meltzer, I don't know if you saw any of this or heard any of this or whatnot, he said it was not unanimous. And there were people in WWE against it, like saying, don't sign Danhausen. Like there's people trying to push against it.
Well, yeah, because like, I don't know. I feel like all they're going to use him as like a guy who's just going to like be like, I'll curse you, and then they'll lose a match. Wow,
that was like a perfect Danhausen voice.
You are cursed.
Wow, holy shit. Oh, Oh, also, get this. Brian Alvarez kind of hinted on Wrestling Observer Live today. He's like, Danhausen with little, because Danhausen, he was on AEW television a little bit, only worked 3 matches total his time in the AEW, and with little like national TV exposure, got himself over and was a merch machine. Like he sold a lot of merch on his Pro Wrestling Tees. According to Brian Alvarez on today's Wrestling Observer Live, Danhausen already doing good merch numbers for WWE with like the one shirt they put out.
Maybe that's why they signed him, because like, oh, this guy could sell a lot of merch. Imagine how much merch he could sell here.
I mean, he'd be a good guy for WWE to send around, maybe do like media stuff. It's just the face paint and the gimmicks, the thing that's got me. It's like,
He's just gonna be a comedy wrestler that's just gonna be like, I'll put a curse on you, then like they'll lose their match.
And that's my other question. How much do they even have him wrestle? You know what I mean?
Right. Or like, how serious do you think they'll take him?
That's another question. Yeah, I didn't think about that like that, but I mean, there's somebody that likes him. I know CM Punk's a big fan of him, of course, but it's like, I don't see how they use him. He was used very little tonight on Raw. It was just that backstage segment where he's like, he joked about getting over and then said, I got some demands. And then, yeah, he was just the butt of the joke guy. So, I don't know. I really don't know what they do with him. That's the big thing. Like,
yeah,
he's got a unique look with the face paint, of course. But I mean, that works for Halloween. And other than that, it's not like, I don't know. It's not like he's somebody that they can go send out and do a bunch of, well, maybe. Would you think you would scare a bunch of kids if they send them in to do the Be a Star stuff? Or the kids would find him funny?
That I don't know, because I haven't really like seen anything about like him scaring kids.
Exactly. That's my thing too.
Do you really think kids would be scared of like the face paint though? That's the thing.
Yes, and I mean, it depends on the age.
But I'd say, yeah, fine. Depends on I'd say if it's like a 5 or 6 year old maybe, but like I'd say like a 7 or 8 year old. I mean, I don't think they'd be scared at all.
So I don't know. We'll see how he's used. It's really up in the air. Everyone's kind of just like, gotta wait and see. But he's signed. He's here. He's raring to go.
I will say they definitely like overhyped his debut with the whole crate thing. So I'd say if you're doing the crate, that's gotta be like they were like hyping it up as like something big. Not, I saw like someone, I think Sean Ross Sapp tweeted this. They were like, so did AEW just ship him to WWE in a box?
I saw that joke. Yeah,
that was hilarious. I was like, that's what it sounds like, honestly, because like they took him off the like AEW took off the website like the day before Chamber.
So I was doing the SmackDown review, and before the SmackDown review, I was looking at the AEW roster, and he was there. During the SmackDown review, someone goes, Danhausen's a free agent. I said, what? We went to the AEW roster page, and he was off. So it was literally Friday night at midnight going into Saturday, they pulled him.
Hey, geez, that was like quick. Maybe
no, that's
like
what AEW does. AEW will do that. The moment somebody's contract is up, they pull him.
Like, I know that one, but like, I was like, so his contract was up, and they like immediately took him off right when his contract was up, right?
Yeah, that's what they do with everybody. That was like with Ricky Starks, with Rusev.
Oh, geez, how did they? Was this like WWE's plan all along? Just like have him be in the crate, or were they just like kind of just waiting for his contract to be up?
Well, no, they knew the day his contract was up. That's why the crate had the date of Elimination Chamber on it, because they knew he was free the day of Chamber. Which now my other question that I asked on Friday or on Saturday was, could WWE really have been talking to him and had all this set up before his AEW contract was even expired? Or is Tony going to come back? Or is Tony going to come back? WWE's contract tampering again. You know he'll say it.
I feel like WWE does contract tamper a lot. There's just no one really does anything about it.
They did it with Regal. They tried to do it with Swerve.
They did it with Regal. They tried to do it with Swerve. Swerve even came out, was like, if WWE tries to contact me again, they'll hear from my lawyers.
Well, Swerve was just like, he said it. He's like, yeah, someone from WWE contacted me, and the only thing I said to them was, hey, you got to go. I'm not go through my management or something like that. He's like, yeah, go through my management. So we'll see how it all does go. I don't know what they do with goddamn Danhausen.
Didn't like MLW like threaten to sue WWE for like contract tampering with their wrestlers?
I don't know if it was contract tampering, but they sued WWE because WWE basically got the WWE stopped their Tubi deal. MLW was supposed to get a deal with Tubi, but because Tubi was owned by Fox, WWE told Fox, we don't want you to have any other wrestling companies on any other platforms on any platform you own. We want to be exclusive, the only Fox wrestling. And so they canned the Tubi deal with MLW, and MLW sued them.
What was the result of that lawsuit?
I don't remember. Let's see. MLW WWE lawsuit. I think WWE had to pay them. I think they settled. Yeah, WWE and MLW reached a $20 million settlement. Let's see. Reading this from Fightful, it says, on January 11th, 2022, a complaint was filed against WWE by MLW, captioned MLW alleging WWE interfered with MLW's contractual relationship with certain media platforms and engaged in other anti-competitive and unfair business practices in violation of the Sherman Antitrust Act and California law. So yeah, that was WWE basically got their Tubi deal nixed. WWE tried to dismiss the case, and the judge said no. So basically, it was like the rumor was, and I don't know if this ever actually came out as being true or not, but Stephanie like called somebody at Fox and was like, no, this ain't going to happen. You're not putting another wrestling company on your streaming service.
Huh.
And then like a year and a half, 2 years later, they got Evolve on Tubi. So they still got wrestling on Tubi. But with all of that, I want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Remember, if you are watching live on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can either help us out by hitting that donate button down below or by donating Twitch bits in the live chat. Also, remember, you can help us out by subscribing to the channel, one of two different ways. You can either subscribe with a tiered subscription, or you can subscribe with Amazon Prime. Because remember, if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming gives you a lot of cool things like free games, free stuff for games, and you always get one free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to throughout the month. And I greatly appreciate it if you did right here, Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Also, remember, you can help us out over on YouTube. Help us out over there by hitting that subscribe button. Then we know we post new videos when we go live and when we post to the community tab. You know what really, we had a video that was supposed to go out this morning. You know what really grinds my gears, Luke?
What?
When I set a video to post, but I set it to post for the next day. And so I'm like, oh, I want this video to post at 10 a.m. Central. And YouTube shows me that all good. Like it says, it's like process finished or whatever, scheduled to post or like not posted yet, something like that. And so I'm like, okay, cool. Turn my computer off, whatever. Then this morning I'm at work and I'm like, oh, let me double check that video really fast. It never posted because it was at 93% uploaded. Even though YouTube told me that it was done, it actually wasn't done. There's nothing I could do about it till I got home from work because my computer was off. If my computer was on, I could remote into my computer and finish it and fix it. But yeah, no. That was annoying.
Yeah.
But with that, like I was saying, you can also hit the join button and become a channel member. As a channel member, you get a badge next to your name, emails and emojis that you can use in the live chat, and so much more. Plus, remember, if you want to get your comment, question, or concern read live on the air, you can do so by donating a super chat in the live chat. And finally, head over to the Epic Game Store. Head over to the Epic Game Store and buy something. Whether you're buying a new game, whether you're buying an old game, whether you're claiming a free game or getting bucks for Rocket League, Fortnite, or Fall Guys, use this code right here, PW Unlimited, at checkout, and you will be supporting us at no extra cost. We know that the new season of Fortnite's coming soon. Apparently, it's going to have some Looney Tunes in it. Rumors: Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck. There was a Lola Bunny rumor too, but I don't know if they give us 3 in the Battle Pass. Maybe 1 in the Battle Pass. The other 2 you got to buy. Or maybe Bugs and Daffy in the I don't know. But the last rumor I saw for the next Battle Pass for Fortnite was Looney Tunes characters, which is going to be interesting. Let me see. Is that rumor still? Ooh. Actually just released a new Fortnite teaser for this new season. Because a very special guest has returned to the island. Oh, is that one of the guys? I think I know what this is. I think that's the character that Ben Starr is going to be voicing. He's like similar to the Rock's character. Interesting. Well, we'll have to wait and see. I don't see the Looney Tune things. Fortnite. Hold on. And we're getting off topic now. But I just want to see this really fast. Let's see. Fortnite Looney Tunes. Yeah, Bugs Bunny is set to be in Chapter 7, Season 2, the Battle Pass. Oh, so this says Daffy Duck is probably coming, but might not be in the Battle Pass. So you might have to buy Daffy Duck. But Bugs and Daffy may also have Lego skins. That's cool. Anyways, get back on topic here. We have a couple bit donations from Esports Gaming Rules. He says Danhausen got a much better reaction on Raw. Did he? I wasn't paying too much attention. I didn't hear if they popped for him or not.
He got booed out of the ring in Elimination Chamber.
Exactly. So. Can't be too worse than that. You can't go down from there.
Which I feel like for that, I think people were just frustrated because it wasn't what they wanted.
What was it that they wanted? Jericho?
A lot of people wanted Jericho, but I think they should have known that it wasn't going to be Jericho. But
here's my thing with the Danhausen thing. I think it wasn't a fact of it's not what they wanted. I think the majority of WWE fans don't know who the hell Danhausen is. Think about it.
Probably.
There's a lot of people that...
Well, to be fair, he hasn't really done a whole lot recently because he was injured.
But here's the thing. Here's my thing with this, and I talked about this last week, and I'll be quick with it. AEW fans are fans that watch everything. Like 90% of the time, an AEW fan is going to go watch a bunch of indie stuff as well. They're going to watch New Japan. They're going to watch a lot of more than just... They're not just AEW fans. But because WWE is more mainstream, there are a lot of WWE fans who only consume WWE, who only watch Raw, who only watch SmackDown, only watch NXT. And there's and this has actually been proven factual, there's actually a good portion of the WWE audience that only watches main roster, doesn't even watch NXT. So I think a lot of it was and granted they were in Chicago, so it should have been, more in the know crowd. But a lot of them might just not have known who it was. And when they saw the guy and saw what he did, they were just like, this is dumb. Boo. Boo. So, I don't know. I think we just got to wait on it.
Yeah, I also saw someone else make a tweet saying, like, this was, like, after, like, have you seen that R-Truth segment on SmackDown of, like, him showing people how to use, like, ESPN to watch, like, WWE Premium Live events?
Yeah.
I saw someone make a tweet saying, should WWE just get rid of, like, just, like, those, like, kind of skits?
Yes and no, because to be completely honest, TKO president Mark Shapiro did, like, an interview and basically he didn't, but did say these pay-per-views aren't doing too well on ESPN Plus or ESPN Unlimited. He was like, we're going to really benefit once all the major cable services have access to ESPN Unlimited. Because Xfinity just got it, but Dish Network still doesn't have it. And YouTube TV, which is the #1 most subscribed to streaming cable platform, does not get it yet with their subscription.
Well, you know why they're not doing so well on ESPN Plus?
Why? Because the price?
Well, that, and people are using the VPN to, like, use Netflix.
That's what I do.
Out of the country.
That's what I did.
A lot. Do you know how many like TikToks and YouTube videos I've seen of people showing like this how you can watch like WrestlePalooza or the Royal Rumble like without having to pay for ESPN Plus.
Here's something. So I got dinged for this actually. You can make a video to teach people how to use a VPN to watch on Netflix because that's legal. You cannot put in your video how to watch on a illegal streaming site or they will block your video and ding you. I got a copyright strike for that. It went against guidelines of teaching people how to pirate and bootleg. That is not allowed on YouTube. And I literally, it was at the end of one of our VPN videos. I was like, oh, and also if you don't want to use the VPN, you don't have Netflix, do this. It was literally like maybe 30 seconds of that. And YouTube caught it and was like, nope, that's not allowed. You cannot teach people how to do illegal things and basically steal the content. I was like, oh, fuck me.
Really?
Yep. So I took that video down and re-uploaded it without that part. Which is why so many, if not most, of the really good YouTube channels that would teach you how to jailbreak and get all the pirate apps for your Fire Stick are no more. There's one guy named Tombstone that used to tell you how to do everything. How you can watch every sporting event, watch every TV show live and on demand, and all his channel's gone because YouTube doesn't allow it anymore. Now, when you see the whole how to watch free TV on your Fire Stick, it's the same. It's so annoying because they make the same videos every month, like how to watch free TV on your Fire Stick for March 2026, and every time they're like, watch Pluto TV. Just get the Pluto app and you can watch a lot of different shows. I'm like, what the fuck? Fuck you. So yeah, you can't tell people how to bootleg on YouTube or their community guidelines strike you. And if you get more than one in a, I want to say 30 or 90 day period, then they won't let you post or anything for a full week. It almost happened to me.
Dang.
Because when I re-uploaded, because what happened was when I re-uploaded the video without that part, they dinged it again. And I reached straight out to YouTube and go, whoa, this one's fine. And so they did like a manual check because they were like, you could no longer, because they were like, oh, you hit the same kind of community strike. Now you can't post, upload, or go live for a week. I was like, no. So I asked for a manual review, and they were like, oh, upon manual review, this video is fine. They thought I put the exact same video back.
Oh.
Yeah.
Esports Gaming Rules with another bit donation saying, congrats to Demolition on being inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. Talk about giving the WWE Universe what they want. We were actually talking about this before we went live.
We got a
I
bit donation, I think it was like a week ago. Why isn't Demolition in the Hall of Fame?
What was the reason? Were they just like trash talking WWE for a while?
Well, I know before they just did not like Vince. And Vince did not like them. So that was the whole thing. But you see Undertaker's new role? Undertaker's the one that Zoom called him and was like, you guys are going in the Hall of Fame.
He's the one that basically, so his new rules is basically just telling people they're getting inducted in the Hall of Fame. I guess
he did it with Stephanie, he did it with AJ, he did it with Demolition. So I assume whoever's next, because how many do they normally do? Let's see, WWE, we were talking about this earlier.
I think probably 4.
It's like 4 or 5.
Well, they still got to do like match of Hall of Fame.
Then if they're going to do that Immortal Moments again, yeah. We haven't seen what that's going to be.
Which who do you think that would be? You think that would be Hogan versus Andre?
I mean, it's one of the biggest matches of all time, so I wouldn't, that would be a great idea. So let's see. Last year they did 4. Plus the Immortal Moments match. So they did Triple H, Michelle McCool, Lex Luger, and the Natural Disasters. Then did the Immortal Moments match. And then they did a legacy thing. They put people in the legacy wing, whatever the fuck that means. Kamala, Dory Funk Sr., and Ivan Koloff. So I could see one more. Probably another male. They usually only do one female.
I wonder who they would do for the other male.
Now, since the female is Stephanie, I can maybe see them doing another female, but I doubt it.
If they did another male, they should do Regal.
You could wait. I mean, he'll go in eventually, yeah. I could also
Or if they did another female, I'm trying to think who.
I could also see Regal being a guy going, I don't need it.
Yeah, I'd put him in eventually. I don't think he can necessarily avoid it. I mean, Triple H, I don't think Triple H really needed it for a while, but they put him in.
Well, he didn't even know. That was just more of a Nick Khan wanted him in, and he went in.
What about X-Pac? Is he in as a singles guy?
Not as a singles, but he's in with DX and NWO.
Think he would ever go in as a singles guy?
That's a tough one. I could see. He probably should. Mate, that's very tough because it's like outside of being with NWO and outside of being with DX, the only thing X-Pac really has is he beat Razor Ramon. Other than that, what did he really do? You know what I mean? On his own.
Fair. What about Eric Bischoff? Is he in outside of NWO?
That's a good question. I don't know if he's in by himself. I don't think so. Let's go the Bischoff. Eric Bischoff.
I mean, it's been a while since they put GM in.
Just with NWO in 2021.
Or if they go with another female, what if they put Vicky in?
No. You think Vicky's Hall of Fame?
Yeah, I mean, she was a great GM for a lot of these wrestlers, but I mean, she was like the perfect manager for Dolph Ziggler.
Oh, yeah, no, that stuff worked very well.
But I don't think they'll do it anytime soon since Nick Nemeth is in TNA. And I just don't know who else would induct her.
Oh, there's a lot of people that can. I was gonna say Edge, but he's in TN or AEW right now. Then I would say maybe Big Show, but he's working for AEW right now. I'm trying to think of all the ones that worked with. Well, I mean, they could get Ziggler to do it. He works with TNA. They work with TNA. That'd be fine. I think Kazarian should be the one to induct AJ.
I saw AJ wants John Cena to induct him.
Oh, well, if that's the case, then do it. That'd be the perfect. That'd be great. Cena would do a hell of a speech. Talking about how, you were the John Cena of TNA and everyone. Yeah, no, they're
really. You think he was? Like AJ was the John Cena of the TNA?
Oh, 100%. If Tanahashi was the John Cena of New Japan, AJ was the John Cena of TNA. Except for AJ got to go heel when he wanted to, and John didn't.
Was Tanahashi ever a heel in New Japan?
Not that I can think of. No. And I didn't watch New Japan before like 2011, 2010, so I don't know. But I've never seen him as a heel. Moving forward, some of these bit donations. Esports Gaming Rules. This is something we talked about right before we went live. Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill got real beef with each other. So we're going to go to Instagram. I think this is about Jade, but I don't know. And I don't know if this is real or not, but let's go to Rhea Ripley's Instagram. Rhea Bloody Ripley. Oh, did she pull it down? I think she pulled it down. Okay, I know where to find it. Let's go. Was it on Threads or it was on Blue Sky? So this is no longer on her Instagram, and I'm going to double check one more time to see. Yeah, she took it down. But Rhea Ripley did post this on her Instagram. We'll pull this up on the screen really quickly. I don't know if this is real, if this is storyline, what, but Rhea posted this stating, quote, "Not having fun, not friends. Learn to work and never lie to defame someone's real human character by, quote, breaking the fourth wall. Now, this was posted roughly 3 to 4 hours ago. It says 20 minutes because that's when I guess the person that posted this on X got the screenshot of it. But it was about 3 to 4 hours ago. And I'm like, what is this about? This would have been like right before Raw went on the air. People were saying it's a shot at Jade. I don't know if it's real beef. I don't know if it's storyline beef, but Rhea will be on SmackDown Friday. We'll see. Any thoughts? I mean, I just don't know. I don't have enough info to comment on it, really.
Yeah, I don't know if I have enough info to comment on it either.
So I talked about this last week. There's not much more to say. What do you think of Paramount Skydance planning to merge? Well, you didn't talk about this part, but what do you think about Paramount Skydance planning to merge HBO Max and Paramount Plus? How it affects AEW? Now, again, AEW has got TV deals written down till 2027, well, the end of 27, and an option year to be picked up in 2028. So to be honest, unless they don't get the option year, I mean, there's nothing that's going to happen anytime soon anyways. We don't know when the deal's going to go down. We don't know when Paramount's officially going to buy Warner Brothers Discovery, and we don't know if they're going to immediately merge the streaming services or not. That's the big thing. There's too many what ifs right now to make too many comments. And yes, Paramount does have a partnership with TKO through the UFC and Zuffa Boxing, but it's not like they have WWE. So it's not like TKO can go, oh, we don't want you to have them because you got us. It's like, well, there's a difference here. We don't have your wrestling. We have your boxing and MMA. So if they really wanted to, Paramount can be like, no, we're going to keep AEW. So I don't know. It's going to suck that they're going to merge HBO Max and Paramount Plus because I don't know what that means for, like what's going to be on the service. How much Paramount stuff, how much HBO and Warner Brothers stuff, and all of that. They did state, though, that also for Paramount and Warner Brothers movie releases, they want to do a 45-day window. It used to be 60, I want to say. The current, when most studios do about 60 right now, they want to do a 45-day window, which is better than if Netflix would have got it. Because Netflix wanted to do a 17-day window. They wanted to be in theaters for like 2 weeks, and that was it. And Muscle Man sends in a bit donation. He says, who do you think Penta defends the IC title against at Mania? And also, is Luke going to stand and deliver?
I'm just waiting for tickets to go on sale then. Just playing the waiting game. I mean, there's a good chance. I'll say that, but I'm just waiting for tickets to go on sale and see how much tickets are.
So we've been talking for weeks that they need to do a ladder match at Mania. Here's your ladder match. I mean, you could do it for either one. Either the U.S. title or the IC title. But Penta in a big ladder match at Mania would be awesome. So maybe they do the IC title in a ladder match.
I feel like if they did an IC title, they'd probably have Penta lose, though. And I just don't think... And I feel like since they just put the belt on Penta, I don't want him to lose, though. Well, they did him versus Ray, and they had him beat Ray. I mean, is Ray hurt or something, or...
Oh, yeah, Ray's hurt. Ray's out hurt right now. I don't know if he'd be back in time for Mania. Let me see.
I was about to say, if he'd be back in time for Mania, give me Penta versus Ray for the IC title at Mania.
Let's see. Yeah, Ray's dealing with a shoulder injury right now. Suffered around the time of the Royal Rumble.
I'm trying to think if they did like just a singles match or like a triple threat. I really don't know who, but if they did a ladder match, I mean, that would probably be cool.
Let's see. Yeah, it was on February 3rd. Ray was announced as injured. Dealing with a shoulder issue.
All right, check Discord. I looked up if Tanahashi was ever a heel. And just said like briefly, but not long.
Let's see. There were only real heel phase. So when he first started, it says he showed cocky, arrogant tendencies. He aligned himself with Makabe's great bash heel. but he wasn't the full villain. Okay, so early in his career, like very early.
So kind of like John Cena, he was like a heel whenever he was like the doctor of Thugonomics.
Right. Gotcha. Also, what is this? Hold on. I just got sent something. What is this?
Esports gaming. Sorry to cut you off.
No,
like
go for
esports
it. Go for it. I'm
rules,
reading something.
Esports gaming rules with another bit donation says, "What do you think of NXT's Stand Deliver not being in WrestleMania week for the first time and possibly being on a different streaming service after leaving Peacock?" Honestly, I think it's a better move because I feel like Stand Deliver is probably not going to get like.
But Charlotte,
Me personally, I feel like a lot of people probably didn't watch Stand Deliver during Mania weekend, mainly because people were probably just like focused on like Mania, especially like in the area of Mania. A lot of people probably didn't watch Stand Deliver.
Well, it's also hard on the production team because you got to go, you got to run that show at like 9 o'clock in the morning. You got to run it early. You got to get everybody there. Then you got to get everybody that needs to go work Mania over to Mania. Granted, the other in the same city and stuff, but it's like you got to rush people from one place to the other. You got to have multiple production teams because when you're done with Stand and Deliver, you got to tear down that building. But then you still have people that need to go work Mania. I heard last year it was not fun. It was not fun for some of the production people that had to work both.
Yeah, trust me. As someone who like works in production, it's not fun. Like I remember like over the summer I was working like a baseball tournament and I got to like the stadium like 7 in the morning, didn't leave till like 11:30 at night, and then the next day I'd like get up at 5 in the morning.
And I was all in just the same complex, like the same building though, right?
Yeah, it was the same building, but still
See, so you're not
the same building, you still gotta like.
Oh yeah.
It's a lot.
I'm just saying also for the people that got to work Stand and Deliver, they can get out of there at a specific time so then they can get over to from the arena to the stadium for Mania. It's like then they got to travel. Vegas traffic in the middle of the day is horrible. Granted, you would think, oh, they're going right down the road. But in Vegas, you ever been to Vegas? Right down the road takes a while.
Oh yeah. I was at Vegas for my 21st birthday, so
yeah, Vegas traffic is no joke. So they always say it. Like I've been told multiple times, when you go to Vegas, you're better off walking than getting a car.
Yeah. Same with New York or California.
It depends. Depends on where you're at in California. Like they'd say that about LA.
I was told the California traffic is terrible.
No, it is. But unlike Vegas, where you could just walk to everything, you can't just walk to everything in LA. LA is huge. LA is huge. Like actual like Las Vegas, where you're gonna go and do everything with all the casinos and everything like that. Yeah, you can walk to all that. But if you want to go places in LA, you need a car, and you're gonna have to sit in the traffic unless you know your way around to get around it all. So that's the thing. People always say that. Oh, just Uber or walk in LA. No. Yeah, maybe Uber's better because Uber drivers know the city and they can get around and know the ways to get around traffic. But you're not walking. You're not walking at all. Trust me. Because Vegas is all on the streets. LA is a lot of got to get on that freeway to get to the next place you want to go. So, anyways, you read this one from Esports Gaming Rules, right? The Stand and Deliver one.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's one we were just talking about.
Yeah. I didn't fully hear. I knew you read it, but I wasn't sure if that was the same one or not. Wanted just to double check.
They also said possibly being on a different streaming service after leaving Peacock.
See, we don't know that. No one has said anything about how long the NXT PLEs will remain on Peacock. That's something we don't know yet either. We know that the original WWE Peacock deal was supposed to be up right before this year's Mania. Like Mania was supposed to kick off ESPN Unlimited. Excuse me. And so I don't know if maybe Stand and Delivers the last show on Peacock or not. And then where do they go? I don't know. They gonna try and get on Paramount to block AEW? They already got that relationship. That's something nobody's talking about. Yeah. You know, that's something nobody's talking about. But I can see them staying there because they also still have the Saturday night's main event deal with Peacock. So I can just see the NXT PLE staying there. Yeah, no, someone sent me something about, you know, Rhea and Jade having real beef, but like I'm reading this, but I'm reading it without real context to know what I'm reading, so I can't comment on this. It's an article from Clutch Points, but because I don't know, like they're like, check this clip and check this tweet and check this, like, yeah. So they say there's some real shit going down, but I don't know if it is. So we'll have to just wait and see. This says I'll read the headline of this. It says Rhea Ripley hit with, quote, creative allegations by Jade Cargill amid WrestleMania feud. What creative allegations? I don't know what they mean. So yeah. There's like a video I gotta watch, but I'm not watching that while we're live, so I don't know. With that, though, we got Monday Night Raw to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. Monday Night Raw from Indianapolis, Indiana. They were in the Gainbridge Fieldhouse. We see AJ, Lee, and CM Punk entering the building. We see Judgment Day minus Finn Balor. And then Gunther arrived as well. Gunther got himself one of them buses. I don't know how long he's had a bus, but Gunther got a bus because he came out the bus, and that's the first time we've seen him come out of a bus. Gunther making that bus money.
I thought that was kind of cool.
Gunther making that bus money. Anyways, they're showing all these people, and then immediately they just cut it to ringside where Paul Heyman is there with Logan Paul and Austin Theory. Heyman wasn't interested in starting the show the same way as always, so he gave us a talking segment. He said, quote, I hate to piss on everyone's parade, but excuse me while I whip this out. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? He says, we're here to talk about Seth freaking Rollins. I'm like, damn, all over here getting X-rated almost. Heyman hated Rollins and his song. He said Rollins stole the credit for co-founding the Vision. He stole the credit for co-founding the Shield. He didn't deserve credit for the Shield. Oh, we're going to talk about the Shield and the perfect line from Roman Reigns about the Shield later. But that wasn't Heyman's problem. Rollins stole the Elimination Chamber and the WrestleMania main event from Logan Paul. Heyman said that Rollins thieved oxygen from every human being on this planet. And he's nothing more than Mr. Lynch. He said they planned on stomping Rollins' ass next time he steps into this ring. And that wasn't a spoiler. That was a personal guarantee from the Vision. Theory then grabbed the mic and didn't really say too much. The crowd chanted, "You suck," at him. He said, quote, Rollins ain't in the right now, so you can't chant that. I'm like, okay, whatever. Logan Paul was pissed off because he had eliminated 3 people in the chamber. He thought he was going to eliminate everybody. And that wasn't, he's like, last person to get that many eliminations was Brock Lesnar. So I'm on the level of Lesnar, basically. Paul then called out Rollins, got Adam Pearce instead. He said he was not interested in hearing them complain, and he was the one that wanted to talk to Seth Rollins. He also asked if they had anything to do with attacking Jey Uso last week. Heyman didn't appreciate that. Heyman remarked about Rollins, and Pearce said that he would deal with Rollins personally, but he can't right now because he's not cleared. So it's like he says he's not cleared, but he's doing stuff, so he's got to be at least slightly cleared in real life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I would assume Seth's at least cleared for light activity, because all he's done is super kicks and stomps. And swung that chair, and holy shit, he cracked Hall hard.
Yeah. I thought you were talking about the stomp is when he cracked Paul hard. I didn't know you were talking about the chair.
No, the chair shot. We'll get to that here in a minute, because he hit Paul Heyman hard as shit with that chair. Back to the
feel real, I guess.
So back to this. Masked Man showed up, ran away. Another Masked Man showed up. Logan Paul chased after him. Another Masked Man showed up, and Austin Theory ran after him up into the crowd. Eventually, Heyman was all alone. Another masked man showed up in the aisleway, but he didn't get in the ring. Who did get in the ring was another masked man from behind. That one was Seth Rollins with a steel chair. Rollins gets into the ring. He's got this chair, and he, boom, almost like as hard as he could, just flush right across Paul's back. Hard. Like you heard that. Hard. Heyman goes down. Heyman goes down. Crowd goes wild. He then sets him up and hits him with the curb stomp. Crowd goes wild again. And then Rollins left through the crowd as medical staff checked on Paul Heyman with a lot of fake blood on his face. Heyman was then dragged away during a break. And yeah, what did you think of all this with Seth Rollins and the Vision?
It was cool that they had like the multiple masked men like show up.
Yeah.
I didn't watch SmackDown, but like, what'd you say whenever they revealed that like masked men and it wasn't like Seth Rollins, it was some random that nobody knew?
Same thing everybody said. Who's that?
Apparently he was like handpicked by Seth.
I think he's trained at Seth's school.
Yeah, he was like handpicked by Seth.
Yeah. So that's cool that he got to do that. And, Seth picked him and everything. I mean, Seth's sees something in him. But nobody knows who he is because I don't know if he's even worked matches before. He's just trained. I think they said he trained at Seth's school, and he trained, what I read, was at the Nightmare Factory as well. So he's done stuff at both schools.
I wonder how many schools like a lot of these like wrestlers train at, because I've heard multiple wrestlers say like, yeah, because like what was Tyler Breeze's school, like
Flatbacks.
Flatbacks?
Yeah.
I was watching a video about that, and there was like a wrestler in that video saying like, yeah, this is like my second or third school.
So there's a lot of wrestlers that will be like, this is the school that trained me, but then they'll go to other places to learn different things and get an experience with different coaches and trainers and stuff. But there's a lot of times you'll see like Harley Cameron, who she'll be like, I was trained at Flatbacks. Like they trained me. Tyler Breeze and Sean Spears trained me. So, like you have your like trainer who like taught you to wrestle, but then you have wrestlers that go out and like work with other schools and trainers and stuff just to learn more and whatnot. That was like Dominic. Ray just sent Dominic to a bunch of different schools before he wrestled in WWE. Like I know he went down to Mexico and trained with Conan. He trained with Lance Storm in Canada before Lance closed his school.
I don't know if you remember this. Do you remember the one wrestler we talked to about a year ago? He was trained by Seth.
Which one?
Perfection.
Oh yeah.
He was telling us. I think he told us a story. He was like, so. For those of you who don't know, there was a wrestler that me and Tim like interviewed for a school project of mine. I took a podcasting class and me and Tim interviewed this guy for one of my projects, and he was trained by Seth, and he was telling us a story how like there'll be some people who like pay to go to Seth's school, and after the first day they'll just leave because all they want to do is meet Seth.
Oh, that's always been a thing. Oh, I want to go to meet the wrestlers, and then it's not what you think, and you're like, nope. But they still had to pay the money. Still had to pay that money.
It's weird that some people do that.
Well, it's also a fact of, and I've heard from many indie wrestlers and stuff, they're like, yeah, people show up to the school thinking it's going to be easier than it is, and after day one, they just can't handle.
Or they'll just pay the money just to meet the wrestler the first day and then they'll leave.
Maybe that is it. But a lot of people go in, maybe not a lot, but there's a number of people that'll go to like a wrestling school with the mindset of, it's fake, it's not going to hurt, it's going to be pretty easy, I just got to fall down. And not realize running the ropes is going to screw you up, taking bumps is going to screw you up. So, yeah.
Well,
I've only ever.
Breeze and Sean.
What about it?
Breeze and Sean have this tradition of like you have to take like 10 or like 20 slaps to the chest.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you ever heard of that one?
I saw it in the Chris Van Vliet video.
There's a video of Chris Van Vliet doing it. There's a Chris Van Vliet one. There's the Chris Danger one as well, where they.
Well, Chris Danger actually went. They trained him so he can work, because he was working as a manager for DPW, and he's always been friends with Breeze, and they trained him. He went and lived down in Florida for a little bit and trained.
Yeah, he like Yeah, he's always been friends with Breeze, always been friends with Woods, Adam Cole,
Yeah.
Sean.
So I've only tried to take a bump in a ring once. I was hanging out at an indie school because I was doing some like stuff with them, learning, you know, 'cause I wanted to learn more of like a behind the scenes wrestling thing for the YouTube channel and everything. And they're like, hey, you want to go in the ring and try to take a bump? And I was like, okay.
I wonder who trained BDE.
I don't know. Let's see.
Because he's doing a lot of stuff for
He's signed
TNA
it.
now.
He's signed to TNA.
Yeah.
This says he was trained by Ace Austin and Sammy Callahan.
Sammy Callahan, he's retired from wrestling, isn't he?
Sammy Callahan, yes, he owns Wrestling Revolver.
I heard those shows are actually pretty good.
Yes. One company that I've done some like work with ish on the graphics side, and like I consulted with them on like, hey, what do you think of this? And this is like as a graphics thing. Arrival worked with Wrestling Revolver in their last show. They did like a co-branded thing. So yeah, no, Revival's really like Arrival, I mean, and then a Wrestling Revolver, both really good indies. Really good indies. Moving forward after the break, they were loading all fake blood Paul Heyman into the ambulance. The Vision tried to jump in, and everyone's like, oh, we got this. Like the EMTs are pushing them out. And so they go to get their car, right? They're like, get the car. We're going to follow him. We're going to go Paul to the hospital. But when Austin Theory opens the driver's side door, he gets cracked in the face by Jimmy Uso. Because Jimmy thinks that the Vision are the ones that attacked Jey Uso. So Jimmy cracks Austin Theory, and then all of a sudden we see, well, who's driving the ambulance? LA Knight. LA Knight said, I'll take good care of Paul for you. Yeah. And drove off. So that's
What's he gonna do? Like kidnap Paul and like put him in
I guess.
That's the part I'm a little confused about. Like, what the heck is he planning on doing with Paul?
I don't know. We didn't see him anymore. We didn't see him again.
I actually thought about this later on, which I feel like this is the plan. I just don't know what they're gonna do with Seth after this, but I feel like at Mania they're probably gonna do Logan Paul and Austin Theory against the Usos for the tag titles.
Where, Mania?
Yeah.
No, it's Seth and Logan.
Oh, they're gonna do Seth versus Logan again?
Yeah, because Seth screwed Logan out of the chamber. It was so. Here's the thing. It was supposed to be Seth and Breaker. When Breaker got hurt, they moved it to Seth and Reed. So everything that Logan Paul did in the Elimination Chamber was supposed to be Bronson Reed. When Bronson Reed got injured, they couldn't just throw Logan in originally because Logan wasn't in that qualifier. So they had to have somebody win. So they had Jey Uso win. And that's why they did the fake injury angle on SmackDown to get Jey Uso out of the chamber. Then they did the qualifier to get Logan in the chamber because they needed Logan in there to build up the Seth stuff. So it's going to be Logan and Seth.
Well, so what are they going to do about the whole like who attacked Jay storyline? Are they going to say it's Jacob Fatu?
No, I think it's the Vision. It's the Vision.
Because I can see it being Jacob being like, I was trying to get back in the chamber.
No, I think it's the Vision. Their thing can be, we hurt Jay because he injured Reed. You know.
So now what are they going to do with... You got to do something with that in Mania, though. You can't just...
With Usos?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's like, what do they do with the Usos?
Because the only person you got left is Austin Theory.
I mean, I guess you could do Austin versus Jay. That's like a night one, third match on the card kind of deal.
Just Austin Theory versus Jay?
Sure. Why not?
Man,
I don't know.
The Vision is cursed, man. The Vision is really cursed.
I know. I saw somebody on social media go, hey, they should add Royce Keys to the Vision. They need another big man. I'm like, you want him in that group? He's going to get hurt. You're cursed.
Yeah, they really are cursed. Like, everybody's getting hurt. Braun Breaker's probably not going to be back till like after Mania.
No, I don't think so. Because if If they thought Breaker would be back in time for Mania, then they wouldn't have shifted to the Logan Paul stuff, I don't think. But I think it's they don't think, because Breaker had surgery, and that's like 6 months maybe now with the surgery. If it wasn't surgery, he could have come back quicker. But because he had surgery, it's 4 to 6 months, I believe. And then Bronson Reed, he had surgery, so that's 6 to 7 months for the bicep. And we know that because when CM Punk had both of his bicep injuries and needed surgery, he was out 6 to 7 months.
Same with Cody.
Yes.
Because Cody had torn bicep that was completely torn off the bone.
Yes.
Man, what's that? Everybody getting bicep injuries all of a sudden?
I mean, Bronson's was just, he hit it in the wrong spot when he broke up that pin. Just a fluke.
Remember Jake something in AEW tore his bicep?
You took a freaking DDT on the apron. He knew it immediately too, because he looked at Cash and goes, "I tore my bicep. I'm hurt." He's like, "I'm fucking hurt," or something like that. His third match in the company.
Yeah, his third match in the company. Freaking tore his bicep. That's not a good look, honestly.
It was either his third or second. I can't remember if he did any collision matches.
Your second or third match, and you tore your bicep, and that's not a good look.
But again, it's also a freak accident. He did nothing. Well, remember when Drew McIntyre tore his? That was Drew's fault, though. Remember when Drew
no, because I remember when Drew tore his bicep, and like originally he was supposed to retain. Like when he had that match against Andrade, like originally he was supposed to retain the NXT Championship.
But when he took that DDT, go for it.
He took the DDT. He was supposed to kick out, but then he just sat there, just stay for a 3 count because he knew he tore his bicep.
You know why he injured him? Like how the reason he injured himself, right?
How?
When he came down for that DDT on the apron or whatever from Andrade, he was holding on to the top rope and didn't let go in time, and so it tore the muscle. And I think that's the same thing with Jake something. When they came off the middle rope onto the apron, he was grabbing one of the ropes. I think it was the same thing. Well, Jake Doyle. He's now Jake Doyle, not Jake something. But anyways, yeah.
I always know him as Jake something.
Everybody does. That's the thing. When you go to somewhere else with a new name, here's my thing. Why do it's a WWE thing. Some people have to change their name. Some people don't. Like, what is up with that? Danhausen gets to be Danhausen. Powerhouse Hobbs got to be Royce Keys.
Mariah May got to be Blake Monroe.
But it's like
Ricky Starks is Ricky Saints.
But it's like, here's the thing. It's like, who makes the decision on you keep your name, you don't? Jade
Cargill kept her name.
Exactly. Jordan Grace kept her name. Her and Joe Hendry are still their same names. Even though Jordan
I feel like for Joe Hendry and Jordan Grace, I think for them it was like
you kind of had to because you used them before. You used them when they weren't signed. Yeah. But it's still weird though that at Royal Rumble they had Powerhouse Hobbs on the screen and the bricks fell and he's Royce Keys now. Like what?
Probably because people originally knew him as like Powerhouse Hobbs. So I think if they did Royce Keys, people would be like, "Who the heck is this guy?"
Yes and no, because we knew of the name like a week before for trademarks. But still, I get what you're saying. But it's like, I don't know. I really want to know who comes up with who gets to make the decision of you get to keep your name, you don't. You know?
Right.
You remember what Vince wanted AJ's name to be? Styles.
Just Styles?
Styles with a Z. He said, Vince came to me with the name Styles with a Z.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
That was the whole Vince thing. Vince always took away the first name of everybody's full name. It's like, this guy doesn't need a first name. And remember he did it was originally Antonio Cesaro and he just changed it to Cesaro.
Or Andrade El Idolo. He was just Andrade.
No, it was
Andrade Almas. Andrade Almas. My bad.
Andrade Cien Almas.
Yeah. I was like, Neville. He was Adrian Neville. And then he changed him to just Neville.
Alexander Rusev.
Or Mustafa Ali just ended up Ali. Yeah, Alexander Rusev. There's a bunch of them. It was a weird time when they would take people's first or last name away. Remember when Chad Gable was Shorty G for a while? We'll talk about that here later because Michael Cole was bringing that up.
Yeah, hang on. I'm gonna get some water real quick.
You're good. So moving forward, We have Gunther versus Dragon Lee. Dragon Lee attacked Gunther from behind during his entrance. He blindsided Gunther he's been blindsiding Gunther for a few weeks, but not really getting the better of it. Gunther then fought him off and gave him a back body drop in the timekeeper's area. Match started during the break, and Gunther dominated through a break. When they came back from the break, when they came back from the break, Gunther was in control. Gunther blocked a dive attempt, chopped down Dragon Lee. Dragon Lee did fire back in time to return when we returned from the break. He hit an enziguri and a low drop kick, but Gunther cut him off with a power slam and hit two consecutive power bombs. Gunther covered Lee, had it all won, but then lifted him up. Didn't keep the pin down yet. But I'll beat him up. At one point, Gunther rolled Lee outside of the ring before power bombing him onto the edge of the ring and then onto the announce table. Gunther could have taken the countout win here, but he didn't want it. He didn't want it. He went to go for a powerbomb in the ring, but Lee countered into a sunset flip. Lee followed this up with a suicide dive and an Operation Dragon. Lee almost had the match won by countout, but Gunther slipped back in the ring at 9. Lee managed to drop Gunther with a clothesline. Yeah, kinda. He fired back up and then went for an Operation Dragon again, but Gunther caught him in a sleeper. As they started going down to the mat, Gunther ripped off Dragon Lee's mask, and as a result, he immediately tapped out. I thought these two had a good 14, 15-minute match. I thought they worked very well together, even though a lot of it was just fucking Gunther beating his ass. But I think they worked well together, and it was fun while it lasted. What'd you think of the Gunther Dragon Lee match?
I mean, it was good. It was mainly just Gunther just like beating him up for the most part. But yeah, I thought they two worked together. Also, Kid Vicious says they also changed Big E Langston to just Big E.
True.
I'm trying to think of other ones. Did they do Apollo Crews to just Apollo for a little bit?
Yes. Apollo.
I'm trying to think what other ones.
Let me see. Hold on. I'm gonna look at something really fast. Well, that's like, where is it? Well, it's like Zelina Vega. She's just Zelina now. They took her last name away. Or like Angel Garza. He's just Angel. And then Humberto Carrillo went to just Humberto. Now they even cut that shorter. Now he's just Berto. So it's like, geez, they really cut his name down.
Elias Sampson to Elias.
There's another one.
Matt Riddle to just Riddle for a little bit.
And that was weird. And then he was back to Matt Riddle again. That was a weird one. I'm looking to see if there's any more like on the current roster.
What about Baron Corbin to just Corbin?
No, he was Happy Corbin for a while. I don't think he was ever just Corbin.
I remember in 2022 they dropped Austin and called him just Theory, and they later restored him to Austin Theory.
Did they? I don't remember that at all.
I remember that Vince took away Austin, and then he was just called Theory for a little while. And I think at Clash at the Castle they gave him Austin Theory back.
Here's one when Natty first came in, they were calling her Natalia Neidhart, but then she was quickly changed to just Natalia.
Well, Tamina Snuka, and they just called her Tamina, and they dropped the Snuka name.
Did they ever really fully call her Snuka, though? I don't think her name was ever officially Tamina Snuka, though.
I saw another one, just Piper Niven to just Dewdrop.
That was a weird one. Well, so Sheamus's name got changed, too.
And because in FCW, he was Sheamus
Shaughnessy.
Sheamus O'Shaughnessy.
Sheamus O'Shaughnessy. And then they were
just
when
he came to the main roster, they shortened it to just Sheamus.
Yep. There's like, that's
a lot of people don't even know.
I'm trying to just see here really fast if there's anybody else. No one else on the current roster that I can see. Yeah, no one else that I can see on the current roster as far as like their name got cut. Let me see something really fast. Let's go here really fast. Yeah, another one. No one that I can really see that was like prominent that I can think of. Well, Ava. She was Ava Rain, and then they just changed her to Ava. Or technically, you could say Batista. He was Deacon Batista. Then they just changed him to Batista.
I forgot when he debuted in WWE. He was a deacon.
Deacon with Reverend Devon. That was some crazy stuff. Reverend Devon. Oh, here you go. Brandy Rhodes was Eden Styles, and then eventually they just called her Eden. So that's one.
Oh, she was a ring announcer.
Yeah.
During that.
He was a good ring announcer too, like really good.
Did she like not want to do it anymore? That's why she left.
Oh, I don't know. I think she just left when Cody left. Eve Torres, at one point, she was just Eve.
Yeah.
Now we're getting into the woods here, but or into the weeds, I mean. I'm just quickly scrolling through the alumni section to see if I can see anybody else. JoJo Offerman, when she was on Total Diva, she was JoJo Offerman, and then when she became a ring announcer, she was just JoJo. That's another one. Not too many more that I can see here. Now WWE's website wants to run really slow. Yeah, not many more that I can see that's like prominent. You got one name, guys like Ricochet, but he was always just Ricochet. Ryback. Well,
Ryan Reeves or Skip Sheffield.
Well, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. His name just got changed a couple times. He was Ryan Reeves because that's his real name when he was on Tough Enough. Then they changed him to Skip Sheffield. What a fucking name is Skip Sheffield. Man, did I forget. I was gonna say just Ryan Reeves, but then you said Skip Sheffield. I totally forgot about that stupid ass name.
Remember his catchphrase in NXT season 1? Yep.
Yeah. What the shit?
Yeah, who was that? Remember in 2010 they had like a magician as like the guest host of Raw. Then like they had a backstage segment. It was him and Regal.
Oh, I know what you're talking about now. I had to think about it for a second. I think I remember.
Have Regal. They're gonna have the magician guess the number that Regal write down. Then Skip was like, "Oh, he got it. He got it. Yep."
Here's somebody that got an addition to their name. Brian Kendrick became the Brian Kendrick.
Or Seth freaking Rollins.
Well, now you know they do it with Rhea now. Rhea Bloody Ripley. You can't say her name without saying bloody. Wait, whoa. Why is Santos Escobar on the alumni page? Ain't he working AAA? Ain't he re-signed? What the shit? Hold on. I'm looking something up. I thought they had him doing AAA stuff. Yeah, he showed up in AAA like a month ago for WWE. But why is he on the alumni page? January 17th, 2026, in an episode of AAA, Escobar made his return when he confronted and attacked El Hijo Dr. Wagner Jr. Okay, that's interesting. That's very interesting. We're going to have to look into that one. Because remember, his contract expired, and the next day he signed a deal. Like the next day, it was reported. I'm gonna look into that one after this. But as far as getting back to Raw, this is something you DM'd me about. Asuka admonished Kairi Sane backstage, yelling at her and everything. She was stunned in silence. AJ Lee then walked up and was like, "Hey, are you okay?" And she's like doing the whole wave the hand in the face thing. "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And all of a sudden you hear, this is great. AJ played this great because Asuka does like, "Kairi!" And AJ jumps this time. Not Kairi. AJ jumped. It scared her. And she's like, "Oh my." She backed away. She's like, I'm gonna give you some space. I loved it. I thought that was good. But you
And
asked
I DM'd you.
yeah,
And I DM'd you. I was like, Oscar versus Kyrie question mark at Mania?
I don't see that as a big Mania match though. Like maybe a SummerSlam match, but something to me that just doesn't feel like a.
It would be an awesome Mania match. Don't get me wrong.
It would, but hear me out, and I hope people don't hate me for this. That's the potty break match. That's what I think people would see as the Mulgamai hot dog match.
Well, probably, yeah, but
Because, like, yes, they've been building it up, but for some reason, to me, it just doesn't feel like a big time Mania match. Now, granted, with Mania being 2 nights, there's a better chance that it's a Mania match. But that just doesn't feel like a Mania match to me. You know what I mean?
right. But
So,
I feel like it would be like one of those matches where WWE can be like, yeah, we had like another like women's match on the show that's not a titles match, so we care about the women's division.
right.
Like last year they did with Jade Cargill versus Naomi.
So, like,
Speaking of Naomi, I'm curious to see whenever she's back. I don't think she gave birth yet, did she?
not that I know of. No, we would know that. Like, we would know that immediately, probably. One of the
'Cause what's the
one of the
normal,
one
like,
of the 50
return-
people in that family will post it when she does.
What's the normal like return time after like a wrestler gives birth?
There is no normal because everybody's different. Everybody's different.
Wasn't Becky like 9 months?
Becky was 9 to 10. Alexa Bliss was well over 2 years. Ronda Rousey and Lacey Evans were like 5 months. It just depends on the person. And you'll hear it from like Alexa Bliss even said it. She was like, I thought I was going to give birth, be with my baby for a couple months and come back, but I didn't want to leave her. So I stayed home and they just let me stay as long as I wanted. She's like,
Didn't she like almost leave WWE? Then like they gave her a new contract like right before the Rumble.
that's the whole thing. So if you don't remember the story, not at the 2025, but the 2026, but the 2025 Royal Rumble, Alexa Bliss was set to return. And then they realized, oh crap, her contract's expiring like that day or the day before or whatever. So then they say, hey, Shotzi, we needed someone to fill in the Rumble. So you're going to be in the Rumble. They fly Shotzi to Indianapolis and she does the walkthrough and all the practice and everything. And then overnight at like 3 a.m, they finally come to a deal with Alexa and they're like, Shotzi, you're not in the Rumble anymore. Alexa, you gotta get here. So yeah, that was the whole thing.
Sucks for Shotzi.
So yeah, it's not that she wanted to leave. It was she had like terms and had like she knew what she wanted in a new deal. And when WWE didn't agree to it at first, she was like, all right, I'll walk away, but I don't want to. And then they finally, came to a happy medium, I guess you would say, at the last minute for Rumble. So speaking of AJ Lee, she came down to the ring to return to snatch the pretty hair off of Becky Lynch's big ass head. She said that she wound up snatching her title instead. The crowd then chanted, "You deserve it." She said that the fans thought that she could still go. They believed in her. And a decade later, yes, she can still go. They remember her when some people wished that they would forget her. They made her believe that she could still go and be there with the very best. And that's exactly what Becky is, one of, if not the very best. She says, Becky is one of the best, but I beat her. She said Lynch gave her a fight of her life, and she has the scars to prove it. She proved to herself that she could still be championship material. She said she was still who she thought she was. But now that quote-unquote Becky Boo Boo was behind her, WrestleMania is in her sights. And this is where I got a little confused here. As far as like later on when they announced that number one contenders match. Because she said WrestleMania is in my sights. But then said I want to be a fighting champion. Kind of like Punk. So it's like, is she saying she'll defend at any time? Or she wants to defend at Mania? Because again, unless something changed, as of like January, the plan was still her and Becky at Mania. Anyway, she says she wants to be a fighting champion. It's been 12 years since she had a title, and she doesn't want to waste any time with this belt. She called on anybody to come get a shot at the belt. And she wants to defend this title the next time she steps in a ring. So basically, she just said, next time you see me, I'll be defending my belt. Any thoughts? Who do you think? So in that number one contenders match, they announced it later. I'm going to pull up the names right here. Who do you think wins this match? It's Lyra Valkyria, Bayley, Io Sky, Raquel Rodriguez, Asuka, and Ivy Nile. It's a gauntlet match next week on Raw. Who do you think wins it to get the first shot at AJ Lee?
I want to say Bayley.
Bayley and AJ would be a great match. Why?
Do you remember when, like, back when AJ was Divas champion, like she was doing like a special appearance on NXT.
She wore the hugger shirt.
Yeah, Bayley was like doing the hugger gimmick, and she hugged AJ, and she's like, "Hi, AJ." Like, and I think AJ did like an open challenge for like the Divas title on that show, and Bayley's like, "Can I face you for the Divas title?" And she's like, "Sure." It's AJ versus Bayley. Yep. And she's like, "Great."
I can see it being
Bayley. Or they
did
a callback of like that.
That'd be cool, especially the way Lyra hyped Bayley up. It's like, you could go for the title. You should challenge her for the belt. I could see it being Bayley. And here's the other thing. The reason I think this might be for a match at Mania, because Lyra even said later, I feel bad that you missed last year's Mania. I want to help you get back to Mania. You should challenge AJ Lee for the Intercontinental title. So that's why I think that it's not going to be a title match on Raw. I think this could end up being the Mania match. Because there were subtle hints to Mania. AJ said Mania. Lyra told Bayley, we want to get you back to Mania because you missed it last year, unfortunately. So maybe it is the Mania match and they're not going Becky. Maybe they've changed things. But then at the same time, it's like, so I mean, Becky's not at Mania? Becky's not working biggest show of the year? You know? That's the weird thing. And with 6 weeks to go, yeah, they can do the number one contenders match next week and then like a week or two do the match. But they just said they said Mania one too many times for me to think that it's not going to be Mania. I don't know. Now, unless somehow maybe Ivy Nile gets attacked and Becky takes her spot and then Becky wins the gauntlet match, or she takes out Lyra. I could see something like that. Becky weaseling her way in. Like we hear Lyra's music playing, but Lyra doesn't come out. Then we go to the back and we see Becky beat her up, and she comes out instead. I could see that, and that's how you get to Mania with Becky and AJ.
Yeah, I don't know.
So the original El Grande Americano's backstage. He wished Penta good luck on the IC title match, but said that he'd be first in line to challenge him for that belt. Penta said he's cool with that. The other El Grande and his two compadres, as they call them, showed up and made fun of him, saying, you might call yourself the original El Grande Americano, but I'm the real El Grande Americano. Tries to reference their upcoming match in AAA on March 14th. And the Gable Americano wanted to fight tonight. So he's like, any of you two want to fight me? Go for it. I'll take on any of you. And so that's set up for later. It was Chad Gable's El Grande Americano versus, was it Rayo? Yeah, because Rayo's in the red, Bravo's in the blue. So we got a Liv Morgan pre-tape. Liv cut a pre-tape promo on Stephanie Vicaire. She said that Vicaire didn't know anything about her struggles, but Vicaire was right about her. She was privileged. She did get a lot of things handed to her. She got signed when she was 20 years old. Vicaire got rejected the first time she tried out for WWE. She had the best of the best of the everything. Well, Vicaire had to grow up in the mud, a mud hut, and wrestle in flea-infested rings. And that all happened because Morgan was a star. Morgan didn't dwell on her past, though, as Stephanie did. Despite everything that happened, she sees some of herself in Stephanie. She was hardworking, talented, and a great champion. Morgan would give her something at WrestleMania. The privilege, well, of facing Liv Morgan. Yeah, it was a fine pre-tape. I thought it was shot cool in the belly of the beast, or the bowels of the building, whatever you would say, kind of like a boiler room.
Yeah.
So we had El Grande Americano, original El Grande Americano, I gotta say, Chad Gable against Rayo, which is Pete Dunne. Rayo's Pete Dunne, I want to say. Yeah, no, I think so.
I'll have to look at the roster.
Hold on. Well, no. I just gotta look at Rayo Americano. I just gotta look at him again real fast. Yeah, it's Pete Dunne. Rayo's in the red, which is Pete Dunne. Bravo's in the blue, which is Tyler Bate. So, Gable Americano had control early on until Kaiser's Americano distracted him and allowed Rayo to hit a dive and take control throughout a commercial break. Gable then fought back in time to return from the break. There was more distraction later on and interference, which led to a schoolboy and a near fall. A 10-minute match. Gable came back with a Chaos Theory suplex and pinned him, but it was a 10-minute match. It was fine, but it was like not much really happened in this match. So, I mean, it was okay. It was there. They're just trying to get Gable some reps after he's back, and they're building up the him and Grande because they're doing it in AAA, I guess. I don't know. It's whatever. What'd you think?
Yeah. It's all right.
It was just a fine segment, fine match. Like, nothing wrong with the match. It was just like, it felt like there was just nothing there, like no stakes or anything. And maybe it's because they're building a feud for AAA, and I don't really watch much AAA. Like, I'll catch it here and there, maybe more clips than watching the actual show, but
yeah.
So we got a Judgment Day segment. Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez were backstage. Morgan suggested that Raquel challenge AJ Lee for the IC title, and they can both go into Mania with title matches, maybe. Dominic Mysterio then showed up and was stressed out about his title defense later. Jamie Dunn's like, don't worry, we got your back. Finn then entered the room. He wasn't too happy about what happened at the Elimination Chamber. Dom then said they could now, he's like, yeah, get your match behind you. We can now focus on me defending this title against Penta. And Balor was like, isn't this something you should do on your own? Like you said last week. And he's like, oh, yeah. I meant focus on celebrating with me after I defeat Penta and retain my title. That's all I need you there for. Celebrate afterwards. And Finn's like, okay, well, we'll help you celebrate. So it's like Finn doesn't want to help him cheat. Finn's going to the light side. He's going to be a babyface after long. And like we've theorized, I think we can get Finn and Dom at WrestleMania.
Oh, yeah. Finn's going to go over as a big babyface.
Oh, yeah. Which was the weird thing of Elimination Chamber, because the crowd actually wanted to. The crowd in Chicago, they didn't boo Punk or anything, but they wanted to cheer Finn because they wanted to see him turn babyface potentially in that match. But it didn't happen yet. We then got a clip of Oba Femi beating Miz on SmackDown. All of a sudden, Rusev showed up, came out from the crowd and stood on the announce desk. He's like, all I hear is Oba, Oba, Oba. Oh, I'm tired of Oba. Oba, come out here. Let's fight right now. And he's like yelling for Oba. Oba then came down and joined Rusev. They traded some right hands. Femi got the better of it, but then Rusev avoided a choke slam and hit consecutive kicks. Femi then dropped him with a choke slam anyways and clotheslined him out of the ring. We do now know that next week on Raw, it will be Oba Femi versus Rusev. Unfortunately, Rusev taking another loss. Rusev getting beat again.
Yeah.
So we had that earlier talked about segment with Bayley and Lyra. Basically, Lyra was trying to hype Bayley up, saying we need to get you back to Mania. Maybe you could challenge AJ Lee. They had one of those, heartfelt conversations, I guess you would call it. Bayley was frustrated. They both missed out on the chamber. And she says, I just feel a little stuck. Mercurio didn't want to see Bayley like this. She then suggested, like I said, go challenge AJ Lee. Raquel Rodriguez then. Something with Raquel. Here we go. Mercurio told Bayley to go talk to Pierce and get that title match. We know she said Raquel wants to go for the title, so maybe you should get to him first. Bailey was about to leave, but then she recalled costing Akira the IC title. So maybe Lyra should go for the belt because Bailey cost her the belt. It was the whole thing. It was the whole thing. But it set up kind of the gauntlet match, I guess. Bailey and Lyra went to Pierce's office together. But then when they got there, Io walked out. So, yeah. Whole thing. Then we had Jimmy Uso versus Austin Theory. At least you were supposed to. The match only went 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Match ended quickly with a DQ. Jimmy set up Theory for a splash through a table, but turned his attention to Paul, who slipped into the ring. Logan Paul, that is, not Paul Heyman. Jimmy attacked Paul as the referee watched. Theory then tried to save Paul, but was attacked by Jimmy. And the referee finally just called for the DQ after all of this. Then the Vision got beat up when Jey Uso's music hit. He slid into the ring with some crutches and beat him up. And they laid Theory out with Theory and Paul out with the crutch shot and hit Theory with a 1D. I mean, like you said, it looks like they're setting up Austin Theory and Logan Paul versus the Usos, but I don't think it's Mania because the Mania match is Seth and Logan. So maybe it's a Raw match next week or in 2 weeks or whatever. Yeah, we got 6 weeks.
What if they do the tag title match on Raw next week and they have Seth screw them over?
Not a bad idea, but I feel like if they were going to, not next week. I feel like if they were going to do a title match, they would have announced
probably
it.
2 weeks.
So probably in 2 weeks, yeah. But I can totally see that. Seth
What
screwing
if they have a Pierce announce and be like, hey, the Vision thinks they want to be sneaky and attack Jey Uso? Or no.
Yeah, no, that would make sense. Why would Pierce award them? But I can
or maybe
see
next week they set up a segment and then I have an idea. So next week the Usos, they call out the Vision. They say they want a match against them. They say, we'll only fight you if you put the tag titles on the line. They say, deal.
That's exactly what I was going to get at. Yep. That makes all the sense in the world. So, moving forward, got Danhausen. Danhausen approached Adam Pearce. He received a okay reset. I heard something. I didn't hear many boos, but I didn't hear a lot of cheers. But at the same time, like I said, I didn't hear the boos, so yeah, it was whatever. Danhausen said that I debuted to thunderous applause at the Elimination Chamber, so I have a list of demands. And he wrote them down on a napkin. He said, I want a blimp, his face on all the trucks, and a Hall of Fame induction this year. He once said, I want a personal assistant, and I want a Triple H pointing at me photo. Pierce asked why the napkin was soggy, and he said, it fell in the toilet. I'm like, oh, yep, Danhausen's the comedy guy. That's it. He's the comedy guy. Judgment Day then walked by. Pierce took this opportunity to leave when Danhausen was not paying attention to him anymore. Danhausen was happy to see them, but didn't know McDonough's name. Danhausen also liked the look of Dom's IC title. I'm like, no, you don't. No, you don't need to know. Nope. You don't need to be involved in no title matches, Danhausen. Danhausen then cursed Dominic Mysterio, and they laughed as he walked off. But when they turned their attention back to Danhausen, he disappeared. Ooh, spooky. I don't fucking know. Yeah, that's what he is. That's all he is. If we still had the 24/7 title, there would he would be. He'd be there running around cities with Truth and fucking Tozawa. Trust me, if we still had the 24/7 title, he'd be like Truth, 20-time champion.
But you just took the title away from me. I'm gonna play a curse.
No, just think about if those segments with Truth and Tozawa were as good as they were. Like Truth and Danhausen would probably have some fucking hilarious 24/7 segments.
Oh yeah.
Like for as dumb as the title itself was, because they wanted it to be the old hardcore title, but they weren't going to do hardcore. It was the comedy belt. Like for as dumb as that ended up being and stuff, like I don't know. It was entertaining at times. Pretty entertaining because they had Truth, who's just always great, and we got to see the side of Tozawa that, you know, we hadn't seen before.
You know what they should do? honestly.
What?
Do you know, like, on WWE Shop they'll make like custom championships for like wrestlers? Like the recent one, they made the AJ Styles 10 years WWE Championship.
We don't need a Danhausen belt.
No. What if they
Oh,
made a
okay.
24/7 R-Truth belt?
I'm surprised they haven't.
That I feel like a lot of people would buy it.
Where it's like got the graffiti and stuff on it, says "What's up" all over it and whatnot.
Yeah,
I could see
and
that.
There was 24/7.
It'd
There
be-
was
they have a
24/7
cool-
plates, and they had like an
Yeah.
R-Truth.
They have a cool strat.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be against it. So moving forward, Jackie Redmond was at the top of the stage, and she introduces the winner of the 2026 Women's Elimination Chamber, Rhea Bloody Ripley. Rhea comes out with Io Sky. Rhea said that it's been a whirlwind couple of days. They lost the tag titles on SmackDown, which sucked, but she was able to go in the Elimination Chamber and win it. She thanked Io for being there for her and pulling her out of the dark situation of SmackDown. Sky said Ripley did the same for her. Sky said Ripley won the chamber and showed everyone why mommy is always on top. Sky then said, "You can go challenge Jade. I'll be fine here on Raw. You go handle your business over there and at WrestleMania." They hugged. Rhea did the Io thing when Io was pumping her up. And then Ripley said that I'm going to win the title for you. Ripley told Sky, "Hold things down here on Raw because I'm headed to SmackDown this Friday night to see Jade face to face. Then at Mania, I'm going to leave with her title." Sky then leaped in Ripley's arms and they hugged or whatever. There we go. It was fine. It was basically just to say, hey, if you didn't see Chamber, Rhea won. She's challenging Jade for the belt, and she's going to be on SmackDown going forward till Mania at least. But if she wins the belt, then she'll be always on SmackDown. You think Rhea beats Jade?
Probably.
I think she should.
Jade's been a very lackluster champion.
Jade's only defended
the belt
once, and she won in November?
Yeah.
That shows you the confidence they have in her to have TV matches. Oof.
Jeez. Her matches are still like rough. Like,
yeah. Next
which
week,
she does need some more training though, because like all her AEW matches were like literal squash matches.
What does she have, like 60? What did they make her, 60-0 or something like that?
Yeah,
wild.
they're all like squash matches
for the most part. I think her longest match is maybe 4 or 5 minutes. I could be wrong on that, but maybe she had pay-per-view matches longer, but I don't know. The next week, Raw will be in Seattle, Washington. We got the Women's Intercontinental Championship #1 contender gauntlet match. Say that 5 times fast. Io Sky, Lyra Valkyria, Bayley, Raquel Rodriguez, Asuka, and Ivy Nile. We also know that Obafemi will go 1-on-1 with Rusev.
That should be a good match.
Oh, yeah. You know what also was a good match? The 16-minute Dominic Mysterio Penta match. These two worked very well together. Very well.
Oh, yeah.
So Penta hit a flip dive early on as they went to a commercial break, about a minute to 90 seconds in. Balor and McDonough watched peacefully from ringside, seated in some comfy chairs. Penta took too much time, staring them down at one point, which allowed Dom to take over. Even Michael Cole noted, "Penta, you need to focus on Dom, not the guys at ringside." Dom cut Penta's comeback off at one point and attempted after a commercial break and hit an Edge-O-Matic. Cole gave it a new move. He called it something, but I didn't catch it. But he didn't call it an Edge-O-Matic, of course. It was a name I'd never heard. Dom went for the Three Amigos, but Penta countered the last one into a suplex of his own. Dom then cut him off again, and this time with a DDT on the apron. After Dom used a dive to take out Penta on the outside, Dom then also hit a running crossbody, taking them both over the barricade and into the timekeeper's area. Cole said Penta was once again staring over at Balor and McDonough, distracting himself. During a commercial break, Dom tied Penta's mask to the bottom rope and then stomped on him. After the break, Penta did fight back from time to time here. Penta hit a super kick, which Dom trapped Dom upside down into the corner, followed by a backstabber for a 2. Penta then hit a destroyer, but Dom countered into a Michinoku driver. Dom then went for a frog splash, but Penta blocked it and snapped his arm, followed by a Penta driver for a very close near fall. Frustrated Penta then repeatedly booted Dom in the corner until the referee made him stop. Penta tried driving Dom into the corner again, and Dom ducked, which Penta then went shoulder first into the post. Penta sold it like he was hurt, like really sold this well. He's yelling, my shoulder, my shoulder. And I'm like, oh shit, ref's checking on him. Dom then goes, JD, get the belt. JD, give me the ring hammer. JD, give me the bell, the ring bell hammer. And so McDonough goes to grab it. He gets up, but then Finn gets up and goes, we ain't doing any of that. And the crowd popped. Crowd popped big for this. He's like, he's doing it on his own. McDonough and Balor then argued for a moment. This distracted Dom, and Penta wiped them out with a dive. Back in the ring, Penta hit a destroyer, but Dom tripped him up on the middle rope a little bit. However, Penta ducked a 619 attempt, hit a Canadian destroyer, and pinned Dom to win the Intercontinental Championship, his first title in WWE. Put on the screen, new Intercontinental Champion. They gave him fireworks and everything, and Penta's your new IC champion. Hell to the yeah. I'm very excited to see where this goes and what kind of matches we could see with Penta going forward for that IC title. But what did you think? I thought this was a great 16-minute match.
It was a great 16-minute match. I'm glad that Penta won, because now I think they're going to do Dominic versus Finn Balor at Mania as just like a regular rivalry match and not just like them fighting for something, because I feel like that match would be more important as a rivalry match than them just fighting for a title.
I'm going to dispute you there a little bit. I don't think it's more important to not have the belt. I think it would have been cool for Finn to beat Dom and win the IC title, but it's also a match that doesn't need a belt. So it doesn't need the belt to make sense and have a purpose, if that makes sense.
Right. And I'm also curious to see what Penta does with the IC title at Mania. Whether that's a ladder match or whatever else they do. I think they'll probably just do like a regular number one contenders match.
And just do a singles match. So if we
really want it to be Penta versus Ray at Mania. Holy, give me that match. That's not going to happen.
So if we look at the Raw roster really fast, I'm going to pull this up on the screen. Look at the Raw roster and who we think could potentially challenge Penta for that belt. AJ's still on that roster because I don't think his contract's up yet, but
well, didn't he just sign a new deal?
Yes, but not to be a wrestler, so I don't know. AJ's going to
backstage role.
A backstage role helping develop young talent is what the rumor is.
So basically like a scout almost. Scout / trainer.
That's what I think. Anyways, we've got Austin Theory. Doubt it, but it's possible. We've got probably not going to be Chad Gable or his El Grande Americano. Ooh, we got a new Finn render. That's new. New Finn render. Ooh, they already changed. Ooh, wait, hold on. Do we got a new Penta render up here? Probably not. No, it's the old Penta render. But we got Dom without the belt there. Anyways, Dragon Lee. Probably not, because they just beat his ass with Gunther. But that would be a good one too. Penta and Dragon Lee for the title.
Ooh, what if they did Penta versus Gunther?
Don't get my hopes up now. That match would be amazing.
I'm trying to think what are they gonna do with Gunther at Mania?
Have we seen that before? Even like
we've seen it on the indies. Because I know didn't Gunther say like Penta gives like harder chops than he does?
Yeah. Have we seen like Walter versus Penta? Maybe, I don't know.
I'm sure we have.
So here's my other question. It's like, Penta's the babyface. Does he need a heel? Does it have to be a heel? If so, give me Gunther. Give me Gunther. But let's just looking really fast.
Penta versus Javon, maybe.
I mean, that'd be a fantastic match. So you hear the new thing with Javon about
what?
He's being quote unquote mentored by Randy Orton, and apparently Randy Orton's told him to tone it down a little bit. Basically,
I did not hear that.
Randy is trying to teach him, slow down, because if you do too much now, it's gonna bite you later when your body's all beat up and you can't do it later in your career.
Didn't Will Ospreay say something about that? He said, I was doing too much early on in my career. Now my body feels like it's been beat up.
Yeah. Well, that was like, who was it? Oh,
Vikingo.
Yeah, Rey Mysterio spoke to Vikingo and told him to slow down. Because Vikingo was doing...
Vikingo like, hey, chill out.
Vikingo was doing them crazy fucking 630s from the rope to the floor and stuff. Remember that one he did in AEW through a table and cracked his head on the back of the back of his head on the ring?
Yeah.
But look in here. Honestly, Gunther's the one that makes the most sense.
Sheamus is still hurt. Ray's hurt. Rusev's probably going to lose to Oba.
I don't think they do Oba for the IC title. Something tells me Oba goes to SmackDown. I don't know what, but something tells me Oba goes to SmackDown. They move more
skis to Raw?
Probably. Oh, that's a new Brutus Creed render. And a new Oscar render.
Yeah, I think Gunther probably makes the most sense to just have Gunther beat Penta, unfortunately.
Yeah. Gunther for the IC title?
Probably. You want to make him a big heel. Or what if they did Penta versus Gunther at Mania, then they had Dragon Lee screw Gunther over?
I highly doubt. I think they're done with Penta and Gunther after tonight.
You mean Dragon Lee and Gunther?
That's what I mean, yeah. Moving forward, we have our main event segment. Out comes Roman Reigns. He told Indianapolis to acknowledge
this segment
me.
Was awesome.
Oh, this is great.
This segment,
they both
was great.
Both had a couple really good lines I want to talk about. So, anything I say, cut me off if you want, because I can tell you're excited about this segment. Before Roman could say anything else other than acknowledge me, which they did, out came CM Punk.
Yeah, they immediately cut Roman off after the acknowledgement, and CM Punk came out.
Which worked because Roman got that look on his face like, fuck you, guy. Punk asked why Roman was mean-mugging him. Go for it.
Question. Who do you think is the heel in this? Do you think they're just both big baby faces that a lot of people just want to see fight each other? Or do you think the fans probably view somebody as a heel in this?
I haven't even thought about that, but oh my God. Ooh. I guess if one's the baby face and one's the heel, Punk's the baby face and Roman's the heel, but they're both going to get cheered.
They're both going to get cheered because the fans are like, this is already going to be a good match.
Yeah, well, they're having fucking great segments.
Yeah, they're just having great segments, and the fans just love it.
So Punk asked Roman, why you mean mugging me? Punk was just feeding his ego and acknowledging him. Punk hoped that Reigns would say more than acknowledge me, because they paid a lot for him to be here tonight. We wasted one of your dates on just that. And he asked Phil if his tweet following Elimination Chamber hurt his feelings. Funny that he called him Phil, because you didn't see the post show for Elimination Chamber, but AJ Lee called him Philip. And then Joe Tess later was like, because they were both on the pre-show at separate times, AJ and Punk. And he goes, well, we're going to have your husband Philip in that chair a little bit later. And she goes, oh, whoa, Joe. I'm the only one that's allowed to call him Philip. I laughed so hard by the way she did that. She's like, I'm the only one that's allowed to call him Philip. So I wished Roman would have called him Philip. It would have played it would have been so well. Because then he could have been like, hey, only my wife can call me that. Anyways, he called him Phil.
I saw a tweet, somebody called him like Pepsi Phil or something.
Oh, people have been calling him that for years. People have been calling him that for decades.
What's the backstory behind that one?
He's got a Pepsi tattoo on his arm. That's all it is.
Oh, yeah, just Pepsi Phil.
So Roman's been calling him Phil for a while now.
Did he ever say like why he got that Pepsi tattoo? Or
he liked no Pepsi, one knows? Because he likes Pepsi. And so, well, that's what I heard him say before. I like Pepsi. Anyways, Roman called him. He said, yes, Phil, if the tweet after Elimination Chamber bothered him, because for a champion, Punk has thin skin. Punk said the tweet didn't hurt his feelings at all. He didn't care what Roman tweeted. We didn't care what anybody tweeted. He didn't hold grudges about what people said about him on podcasts like Roman did. Roman's tweet was accurate, though. Punk was tired. He's tired, but that's a good thing because he's here all the time. He's got these bags under his eyes because he's carrying Roman Reigns' bullshit all the way to WrestleMania. I love that line. Punk said, yeah, we got history here in Indianapolis. This is where I brought you here. I debuted the Shield. Or I brought you to the dance. Then, I don't know how many people caught this. Then Reigns goes, no. You brought the other two. You didn't want me. You know the backstory on that one?
What?
So, when they were pitching the Shield and Punk said who he wanted in the Shield, he wanted Seth Rollins. Yeah, he wanted Seth Rollins. He wanted Dean Ambrose, and he wanted Cassius Ohno. But management was like, no, we're going to throw this other guy in there, Roman Reigns, instead. So everyone knows that. And so Roman brought that up saying, oh, you didn't want to bring me in. You wanted the other guys, not me.
I saw a YouTube video of like someone made, they're like, what if like the Shield never happened and like all three guys like came in as just regular singles?
Oh, that would have been, I can't even fathom.
I saw the video and like and he basically made it as like Seth was just under like Punk's like leadership and everything. They had Dean Ambrose come in and he was managed by Mick Foley. I can't remember what they did with Roman.
Yeah,
that would obviously be interesting. Dean Ambrose, the hardcore guy, be managed by Mick Foley.
That's a weird one.
I mean, I will admit, like if Seth came in as a singles guy, I could totally see him being like under a mentorship of like Seth Rollins, CM Punk.
Pop Run says Pepsi Phil was created by Danhausen. People have been calling him Pepsi Phil since before Danhausen was even in wrestling.
Yeah.
Punk remembered things differently, but if Punk didn't pick him, Reigns certainly picked Punk for the main event of WrestleMania. If you ask the fans, they'd tell you that Punk, already won. The last time they were face to face, Reigns told him that he hated him. Now Punk said, quote, I got you right where I want you. I made you this emotional lady. Punk said that he was in Reigns' head, as empty as it is. Reigns reiterated that he hated Phil. But if he didn't have that title, Phil wouldn't even be on his radar. Reigns said that they brought Phil back to entertain the 30 to 40-year-old virgins who lived with their parents, to sell a few T-shirts and maybe draw a good house in Chicago, but not to be a champion. That was too much responsibility and power for CM Punk. It was, quote, above his pay grade. Reigns said that you can't trust Punk. You can't trust Phil. He's a liar. He lied to the people. He has them thinking that he was having a good time here, that he was a leader, that he was smiling, making all the towns, hanging out with his cousins, the Usos. But we know the truth. His cousins told him all about Phil's bitching and moaning. He wasn't CM Punk. He was a bitch-ass punk. Or he was a punk-ass bitch is what he called him. Reigns would end Punk's backup plan, his return to WWE at WrestleMania. After taking the title, Reigns would put him on the John Cena retirement tour. They would make as much money off Punk as they could and then send him down to NXT, where Punk would teach the next generation, only to send him up to the main roster so the tribal chief can snatch them all up. Reigns was about to leave, but Punk pulled him back. Punk said they weren't done. Punk wondered who Reigns meant when he kept saying we, because you are all alone. Alone on your bus, alone in your room. His cousins weren't even with him. The Shield couldn't help him. The wise man was gone because I took him away. That is all. You're just chasing me and nothing else. Punk said he was the champion and Reigns was in the main event because Punk was the main event. This was Punk's show. He was in the locker room hanging out with everybody, including the Usos, while Roman stashed himself away. Reigns could hate him all he wanted, but Reigns would not disrespect him. Punk took particular offense to Reigns saying that he would retire him. And Punk said, quote, oh, you were going to retire me? WrestleMania, you won't be all alone anymore because I'm going to bury you. I'm going to bury you next to your father. Oh, man. Dropped that mic, he dropped that mic, walked out of the ring, and left. He didn't just drop the mic. He slammed that mic down. Roman was speechless. I loved it. Roman's just reaction to that line was everything. So good. So good. So, yeah, great ending to the show. We don't know when we're getting Roman back, though. We don't know when we're going to see Roman next. That's the only bad thing. That's why Punk said, I got to carry this all the way to Mania because Roman ain't going to be there every week. As Punk said, we wasted one of your dates on that word. Any thoughts on this as we wrap things up?
Great segment. They need to do more stuff like this for going into Mania.
Now, here's the thing. How many times can they just talk back and forth, though? You know what I mean? Before eventually it kind of gets a little old. When they run out of things to say.
I doubt they're gonna have Roman wrestle.
No.
They're not. I don't think they'll have Punk wrestle either.
Maybe. I can maybe see something where like Punk's in an opening segment, somebody comes out or something happens. I don't know. Maybe one match. But it's like how many times 1 second. How many times can they go back and forth without it becoming redundant before Mania? You know what I mean?
Right. But I don't know.
So granted, the both times that they've been face to face has been fucking perfect. So I'm hyped. I'm ready for it. With all of that, you know what we thought of the show. Now it's time to hear what you guys thought as we go and check the polls. As far as the Threads poll does go, 81% liked the show, 14% thought it was just all right, and 5% didn't like it. Looking at this is an interesting one, Twitter poll. 96% liked it, 4% didn't. Excuse me. Looking at the community poll, 88% liked the show, 7% thought it was just all right, and 5% didn't. Finally, looking at the live poll, 82% liked the show, 16% thought it was just all right, and 1% didn't. With that, guys, that is going to wrap everything up. I want to say thank you for joining us here, twitch.tv/PW Unlimited, youtube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. But Luke, tell them where they can find you.
You can find me over at Twitter X at petgear_21, and you can also find me over at Twitch at Young Grasshopper Luke.
With that, guys, have a great rest of your night. Have a great week. We know a lot of people are going to have some severe weather this week. I know we've got some bad storms coming in here to Oklahoma in the, I want to say Thursday, Friday. Northeast, you're going to get more snow apparently. So stay safe, have fun, and we'll see you next time. Have a good one, guys. All right, real quick, if you're still watching on Twitch, we're going to hit up a raid. Who are we going to raid? We're going to send you to